Here we are in the Columbus module. You can see it's also spacious. It's also cluttered because it's a great place to store things or temporarily stow them. It's not going to be this way forever. We're going to have it nice and clean pretty soon. In these big bags right here are food containers. We have a lot of food on board. Not all of it's for our crew, it's for future crews. And also there's still some food left from past crews, so we have to sort it and make sure we don't waste anything if we can help it. This is the Columbus module. It's again the pride of the European Space Agency. There's quite a few experimental racks in here. This is the microgravity science glove box. That's one of my favorites. I've been working on the SHEAR experiment from MIT and a few other places. We have the European drawer rack right over here. This is the FSL, Fluid Science Laboratory, on the ceiling. And we have to be careful not to bump into it because it has some really neat experiments going on. Right now this is a GeoFlow. We also have a few American racks in here, like the Express 3 rack right here. But at the bottom of the Express rack, we have the European Modular Cultivation System. So we have a really neat system here where everybody's sharing and working together. This is BioLab, where we're going to start growing some plants in the next couple weeks. The European Physiology Modules facility. We haven't had a chance to use that on this mission yet. And then the HRF, the Human Research Facility, rack number 2. And that has an ultrasound and a few other things that we use. So we use the refrigerated centrifuge also. Actually, the HRF2 doesn't have the ultrasound. It's this one, the HRF1 rack has the ultrasound on it. We're going to use that for the bracelet experiment coming up. Columbus. Okay, we started in Node 2. We're flying back to Node 2. We'll take a quick look what else we have here. We have my work area. It's a little bit cluttered right now, but this is kind of my desk. It doesn't sit out horizontally, but it has everything I need on it. These are my crew quarters right here. You can tell has my name on it, and on top of it is a radiation monitor. These are new crew quarters, and in fact I can give you a tour real quick of crew quarters. Sandy put these crew quarters together. This is what it looks like inside. There's a fair amount of room. We'll get the has a standard space station light on it, GLA, and I'll see if I can give you guys a feel of what it's like in here. We have room of sockets and outlets for a laptop if you need it. And so in my crew quarters, I have a bracket on here and a laptop computer, and it's very convenient, and I can read my books at night. It's great. So that's the crew quarters. It's not very noisy inside. It has a nice fan. It's pretty comfortable. I get very good sleep there. So now we're going into the Destiny Laboratory, headed aft on the space station. And there's my crewmate, Sandy Magnus. She's getting her exercise in for today. And I'd like to show you a little bit of our equipment here. This rack is the oxygen generation system, and we have a few too many things on this rack, and we're in the middle of cleaning it off, not to interfere, but you can see oxygen. We're making oxygen, and when we make oxygen, we're breaking down water into hydrogen and the oxygen comes right out here. The water we're making either comes from the condensate from the air conditioning system, the water that's in the air, or urine. So this is a really neat regenerative life support system. This is our toilet number 2. We haven't quite gone there yet, so to speak, but it's all set up and it is ready to go. There's where you can do number 2. And don't worry, I won't show you anything you're not supposed to see. And there's a place for number 2. And number 1 goes in a big funnel right here. Now we're say, well, there's no privacy here, and there isn't because we haven't put out the cabin. The cabin's going to stick out really far. Speaking out, sticking out far, because the cabin's going to stick out far, we've actually moved the Cevis over with the brackets called crab brackets because it actually moved the crabs it off to the side. This is the WRS rack number 1, and it works closely in conjunction with WRS rack number 2. WRS stands for Water Recovery System. On top of the Water Recovery System rack number 2, we have the Total Organic Carbon Analyzer, the TOCA, and we have a spot to take a urine tank, a YEDEBEU, using a compressor. We send the urine through here, and then it goes into the urine processing assembly, which is not working perfectly right now. So also, that's for the urine that comes from the Russian segment from our main toilet. But this other toilet that we just saw, the urine can come from there directly into here. It gets distilled and processed to pure water, which we can drink, or it can be made into oxygen or used for other things. Here's a new thing also that we got was the Express rack number 6, which one of my favorite things on this rack is cold drinks inside and keep things cold, which is the first time in a long time that we've had something like this on station. So you can see it's not very much room, but it's enough. It's definitely enough. Also, we have a glacier freezer. That's not for food, it's for biological samples. And we also have a potable water dispenser, which isn't certified for use yet, but in the future, this is what we're going to be able to have fill our drink bags and rehydrate our food from here. That's on the ceiling, by the way. We can definitely use 3 dimensions in space. So even though this is a big space station, it's even bigger because we use, the ceiling and the floors also. This is the robotics workstation for the laboratory module. This is where we do our robotics from. You can see that we have our monitors here. We even have potential to put 2 more monitors when the shuttle comes, so we have a lot of views. Eventually, in the next year or so, we're going to have the cupola on our next node, node 3, and the cupola will be able to look outside. It has a lot of very beautiful windows, and then we have a robotics workstation. This one, the cupola robotics workstation, that'll fit there. We have a lot of computers everywhere. We have a printer, old-fashioned, but it works. And now we're going to go back into one of the first modules, node 1, which is also called Unity. This thing that's kind of blocking our view is the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, and it's we put it together recently, and we're still checking it out. It still needs to be calibrated, but once it gets calibrated, we'll be exercising here every day. And it's big. This is a really huge device, but it also can give twice as much chances to work out. I think most people would say that the IRED, the interim resistive exercise device, you can maybe go up to 200 or 300 pounds. This one has the potential to go up to 600 pounds. So you can get much bigger loads. It works by using a vacuum system, so you can see these 2 big vacuum canisters right up here. And you can see as I float backwards in the node 1 here, you can see how big that ARED is and how much room it takes up.